So today I want to be talking about Daggerheart. Recently I played a one shot, and the group I play with, we're actually going to play a campaign using the core rules from Daggerheart, using the rule set from Daggerheart. We might make a minor tweaks here and there, but the game as a core, as an idea, is phenomenal, and I like it a lot more than D&D currently. I have specific problems with D&D, and even worse, specifically, I have problems with the company that owns D&D, Wizards of the Coast, or not Wizards of the Coast. I believe it maybe Hasbro, but I think it actually is Wizards of the Coast. But I have a problem with the company, the parent company that owns D&D, with their whole licensing scandal a couple of years ago, where they tried to crack down on D&D creators, in my opinion, that make the game better. I just seriously don't understand what they were thinking with that, and it kind of showed their true colors, along with the idea that the core 3 rule books that you need, the core books of D&D that you need to run a game of D&D, for the digital copies cost $150. And I mean, that is simply outrageous. $150 for digital copies of books. Yeah, there's a lot of content there. I understand that. The artwork's phenomenal. They need to pay their artists some way. But you're not sitting me and telling me that they need to sell that for $100, especially when Daggerheart's core rulebook includes everything you need, right? They even give you physical copies of certain things, and they give you adventure ideas for $35. I mean, that is simply amazing for the price. Obviously, they're a smaller company, so they have to price lower. That makes sense, right? And obviously, D&D Beyond can sell their product at $150, or else they wouldn't be, right? So there's a reason why the pricing's like that. But I generally like the way Daggerheart is looking as a platform for RPGs more than D&D currently. I also trust the creators and owners of Daggerheart, I guess, more. There's a more of an ethics argument to playing Daggerheart, in my opinion. And I'm what I meant by that is an ethos argument. Like, they're a more reliable source, in my opinion. Matty Mercer, as my friend group likes to call him, and Spencer Stark, I believe. They are both well-defined people in this space, respectively. I mean, it's Matthew Mercer, right? One, if not the best EMs. Additionally, has a massive YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel called Critical Role. You have to know about it, or else you're not watching this video. But I just generally trust what Daggerheart's going to do more. I also really liked playing Daggerheart. So let's get into the combat. So usually in D&D, I actually dislike combat. The reason why I dislike combat in traditional D&D, and I had a couple changes I was going to make that are very similar to what Daggerheart's like. But typically what I don't like about D&D is, first of all, you all start out combat rolling initiative, right? So that takes some time. Usually to roll initiative and to mark down initiative, even if at the table you are being as fast as possible, it takes 2 to 5 minutes, right? That's just for initiative, right? And that's everybody being on top of what they need to be doing, which is rolling their die, telling the DM what they rolled on their die, and then the DDM quickly marking that down. So that takes anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes. And then in combat, usually what tends to happen is I did my turn, I'm going to look at my phone now. Or I'm going to have a side conversation with some friends about some random topic. Don't get me wrong, that's all right. But, game aspect of it, that's not the best, right? Nobody wants to get on their phone while at a D&D session. I can tell you that from experience. It's because we're bored. That's why we get on our phone, right? And that's how combat works. It kind of feels you're doing your turn and your friends are doing their turn. In this combat system, I like it more because it's go at will, but you're not a dick about going at will, right? So you have to be a little bit much more mature to play this, in my opinion. It's not all about you. You have to keep that in mind. But with that, you get more freedom. For example, you could do tag teams. I really like this idea of working with your team, of you all going simultaneously until the DM decides to step in, right? I like that a lot. But again, you have to be a little bit more mature. Hey, my friend didn't go last round, so I should make sure, hey, do you want to go? Do you want to start out? Do you want to start off this combat? They say, yeah, let them go. They say no, feel free to go. But I do think this game requires a little bit more mature of an audience, because you can just sort of ignore a friend, which is obviously the worst thing that could happen at a D&D table, is you feeling ignored. It's just not, it's not nice. It's not fun. And we've all been there. But I think this game tries to step away from that with the idea of tag teams, right? A really cool idea, unique idea. I didn't even think about this. Unlike the simultaneous initiative from the players, which I did think about, by the way. I'm just going to say that. I'm a genius. A lot of these ideas actually over the past couple of months with making marshals have unique skills and characteristics. I've actually been thinking about this stuff for a long time, so I need to toot my own horn there for a little. And I have friends who test for this, and I have Google Docs I can share that I've edited way back in the day. I kind of explain this, but I'm glad somebody is doing it, right? Because I would have to wait till MDM to implement these rules and for others in the friend group to implement them in our future games when they DM. But I love the combat in this game a lot more. In D&D, I hate combat, but in this game, I actually do like the combat. I enjoy it. And it is fun. You're actively doing it. I think I only hopped on my phone one sole session to play a game of Clash Royale, which for me, I mean, that's record setting, okay? But great game. Let's get into this more storytelling aspect. D&D's storytelling aspect is good, but I think this improves upon that aspect. The way I would say it improves upon that aspect is with the fear die that the DM has relative to your hope die as the player. Obviously, Daggerheart, you want to be making skill checks. You want your players to be making skill checks because that adds more thrill to the game. You can have a constantly ever-evolving environment, and I think that's great. I always felt hooked as the player as the story was being told. But I do think there's only one thing I have a problem with, and that's if your players are rolling really horridly at the table. They keep rolling fear. I think it could stack up to like more of an annoyance rather than like, that's cool. But I do think it just works really well because it changes up the environment often, and it keeps the players hooked. It keeps our attention on the game again. But I mean, the story aspect, the role-playing aspect was already my favorite part of D&D, so I didn't really need too much help there. But I know some people on my table who were playing with me liked it as well. I mean, it's a great game, and I am kind of glazing here, but I do think in a couple of years this will overtake D&D. I just hope going forward, keeping cost relatively down. They need to make some changes on the mobile version. They need to release an app as well of the online character sheets because they partnered with Demiplane. I think Demiplane needs to make some changes on their mobile version so that the words sit better. If y'all want to commission me to fix that for you, I will, but it should be done. Besides that, I don't really have any quarrels with Daggerheart. Another thing, a new change I would make is with the damage thresholds. I don't necessarily like it. I do think there should be an ability to one-shot a monster, a big bad evil guy, right? But obviously, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing because I do and don't like the damage thresholds, but it's whatever. And as per usual, guys, if you guys like the video, please hit like, subscribe. But without further ado, have a great day.